So this is how it ends, huh? You don't end with a great film or even a good film. We end with a painfully average, frustrating failure. Joy. Welcome back to the Animation Station and or Cynical Saint 77, depending on which channel you're watching this on. And probably what I'm about to say is going to anger a lot of people. So if you're one of those people that unabashedly love this movie and think that anything I'm about to say is wrong or that I'm just being, a hateful, spiteful bigot, then there's the door. Get out. Because I'm not going to lie about my opinion. I haven't lied before, and I'm not going to start lying now. Dark Knight Rises sucks. It is somehow even worse than Batman Begins, and it is a far cry from the greatness of Dark Knight. What a terrible freaking way to end the trilogy. I mean, yeah, the movie itself isn't quite bad, but in context of the trilogy, it's bad. As context of a Batman movie, it's a huge disappointment. I don't even know how to describe this one, guys. It is one of those movies that frustrates me to the point of darn near anger. Very freaking close. There's so many stupid moments, so many dumb lines of dialogue, so many stupid plot twists that I just can't enjoy this one. I'm sorry. And if you're one of those people that enjoy it, more power to you. I just cannot get into this one. I tried. I really tried. Heck, I used to really like this movie when I first watched it back in 2012, but watching it now, it has aged like milk. It has soured on me to the point of me not being able to even call it a good movie. It's not a good movie, it's not a good Batman movie, and as a ending to a, up to that point, pretty decent trilogy, it is freaking lousy. This one's going to be hard to talk about. So, I'm just going to read off my written review, give you my overall thoughts, final verdict, and it's later. So, the pros of this movie: the excellent acting, awesome action, a decent pace, an okay ending. I don't like it, but it's fine. A grand scale, Bane's design. I like Bane's design in this movie. It's really freaking cool. And Michael Caine's performance as Alfred, being probably the best time he's ever played the character, with so much genuine emotion and just top-notch acting. Seriously, Alfred in this movie is great. He's the one part of this movie that I will actively defend. He is fantastic in this film. However, this is undoubtedly the weakest of the trilogy because of one huge flaw. The awful, and I apologize for my language here, but I don't have another way to say it. The awful, half-assed writing. It doesn't satisfy, it feels beyond rushed, it has unbelievably stupid moments of dialogue that make absolutely no sense. I mean, Robin being able to figure out Bruce Wayne is Batman just from looking at his face? Are you freaking kidding me? Did you take cyanide pills today? What the actual hell? It has so many terrible excuses for twists that it's outright obnoxious. Seriously, the twists in this movie suck. I already went over the stupid Robin thing. I'm gonna complain about that even more later on in this review, but the Bane being a simp for Ra's al Ghul, or the whole big twist of Miranda being Talia al Ghul and being the big mastermind behind all of this and using Bane as, a tool. Or with James Gordon having this piece of paper that actually documents the truth and what actually happened that night, and, the truth behind Batman and all that. And instead of trying to keep it in a safe place where a criminal won't find it if he ends up getting apprehended, he just puts it in his freaking coat pocket. What the hell? That is so freaking stupid. And then you have Catwoman, who's just... I don't even buy her as Catwoman. I don't buy her as a villain. I don't buy her as a hero. She's just another Catwoman. She doesn't even own a freaking cat. Sorry, I'm getting way too mad. I'm sorry. Let's just move on. Add on to that the boring new characters, the egregious exposition, crappy editing, disappointing final battle that leads into the worst twist in the whole trilogy. Yeah, I did just say that. Heck, I go so far as to say it's probably one of the worst twists in cinematic comic book movie history. It is that freaking bad. Anne Hathaway is a terrible Catwoman, the frustrating wasted potential of Bane's character, the freaking shite excuse of Robin that feels so poorly conceived beyond stupid and forced. Like, seriously. Officer Blake is Robin, and he figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman just from looking at his face. That's not heightened, that's supernatural and beyond lazy writing. Like, and seriously, why did you waste Bane? How dare you waste your Bane, and how dare you waste your Tom Hardy? Like, oh. I mean, yes, it's cool that they finally replicated the Batman backbreak from the Nightfall comics. That's cool. But outside of that, he's a simp for Ra's al Ghul. He's a basic throwaway villain that's just connected to another villain that wasn't even good to begin with in these movies, in this trilogy specifically. And the whole final battle is, sure, it's grandiose and it shows that there is money being put on the screen with all these extras fighting each other on top of Batman and Bane, but I mean, outside of that, the final battle kind of sucks. Like, the runtime still being way too long, and Batman still having that awful freaking voice, and yet another unimpressive batsuit that they still can't shoot correctly. This is the third time in a row that you make a Batman suit that is unimpressive and unmemorable. How do you do that? You're on the third film, the big final movie of this big trilogy, and you still can't fix the one problem that has plagued every single one of your movies. Are you for real? You couldn't design an impressive, memorable batsuit, and you still couldn't get Christian Bale to stop doing that stupid, awful freaking voice. Like, what in the actual hell were you thinking? This is the trilogy. This is the big ending. Are you for real? It doesn't feel like an ending. This feels like a thrown out cash grab to try and capitalize on the popularity of The Dark Knight. And as the ending of a trilogy, it's freaking lousy. And you've got a movie that fails as both a satisfying ending to the trilogy and as an overall Batman movie. It has its highlights, but it's a complete mess that's an absolute pain to sit through. Props to those who can enjoy it, but me personally, it's not worth wasting almost 3 hours of my life over ever again. Don't bother with this one. Not worth looking. Not worth freaking watching. I hate to say that, especially because of how much I love The Dark Knight, but this one is just not good at all. It's a rushed out cash grab, and even though there is some effort being put in, absolutely, they still can't fix the fundamental problems, and yet they also did another thing. They took all the problems from Batman Begins that they fixed in Dark Knight, brought those problems back for this, made it 10 times worse than it already was, and then add a bunch of other new problems on top of that, on top of the freaking awful writing from Oscar-nominated writers. How? And you're just left with a frustrating mess. I'm sorry. Even as a Batman fan, I can't enjoy this movie at all. It is not good. It is not even remotely passable. As the ending of a trilogy, it's a huge failure. As a Batman movie, it flat out sucks. And as a movie by itself, it is so painfully average that it's not even worth existing. One of Christopher Nolan's weakest and worst movies, period. I have nothing more to say. Is it a bad movie? No. But as a Batman movie, it's a disappointment. As the ending of a trilogy, it's a disappointment. And just as a movie in general, it is a complete and total failure that jumps headfirst off a cliff. It could have been something amazing, and instead, it's just another run-of-the-mill, painfully average, forgettable comic book movie. Something that these movies were trying to be anything but. And because this movie is such a huge monumental failure, it makes the whole trilogy feel like a failure. I mean, yes, it did a good job bringing Batman back from how freaking awful Batman and Robin was, yes, but I mean, when it tries to be more adult, it also brings in its own problems. And Dark Knight, as great of a movie as that is, it has literally no connection with this final movie at all. And I understand that wasn't the intended thing. No one expected Heath Ledger to pass away, no, but it's still something that just bugs me, because now Dark Knight feels like a complete, just insignificant adventure in the overall trilogy, because it barely has any connection to this movie at all. I'm sorry, guys, I shouldn't be getting this angry, but this is a movie I expected so much more out of, especially coming off of the excellent Dark Knight. Like, I love Dark Knight almost as much as all of you guys do. Almost as much of all of you guys do. But this is a misstep in every single way, shape, and form. I literally have nothing more to say. If you're one of the people that somehow still enjoy this movie despite everything I just said, more power to you, okay? You enjoy what you want to enjoy. But in my opinion, this movie is a dead average, disappointing, forgettable 5 out of 10. A 5. It is one of the most painfully average, forgettable movies I've ever seen. It sucks as a Batman movie, it sucks as the ending of a trilogy, and it drags the whole trilogy's actual quality down just by its mere existence. It is a frustrating, poorly written, horribly conceived, rushed out, cash-grabbing mess. And we're done. It sucks to end these crossover reviews on such a dud, but you know what? It is what it is. And the point is with most of these movies, well, with all 3 of these reviews, was to make sure to never watch them again after having to review them. And that's exactly what I'm pretty much going to do. I mean, the only one I actually want to have on physical was Dark Knight. Rises and Begins are just throwaway to me. I'm sorry. If you're one of the people that really enjoy this trilogy, continue to enjoy it. But in my opinion, it is one of the most overrated trilogies in all of film history. It's significant in comic book movie history, absolutely, but it is extremely overrated to an obnoxious degree. And I have seen far better Batman movies, both in live action and especially in animation. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching all 3 of these reviews on both channels. I really appreciate your time, even though my thoughts may or may not tick you off. And let me know your thoughts and opinions on this movie down in the comment section below. But please be respectful, okay? Please. And for Cynical Saiyan 77, you guys are done for today. So tomorrow we're going to start the Christopher Nolan-a-thon leading up to Oppenheimer with starting with Insomnia. Tomorrow we're going to start with Insomnia on Cynical Saiyan 77, and as for Animation Station, you guys aren't done yet. We still got to do the actual DC Live review of the day. And that one is another pretty highly praised one I've never seen before, so this should be a really interesting watch. So, Cynical Saiyan 77, I'll see you guys next time for Insomnia, and for Animation Station, see you next time for Justice League Doom.